Paul McGuire Grimes, KSTP, Minneapolis, St. Paul. Evan, wonderful work in this movie. I really enjoyed your performance.
Thank you.
Were there con artists or occult-like leaders that made you kind of understand these characters a little bit better?
Ooh, I mean, I've had sort of my own experiences similar, but I think I related to her in the way that I had a very unconventional upbringing. I've been acting and in the public eye since I was very little, and so in a way, was sort of removed from societal norms and was working at a very young age. And you know, I think it's confusing sometimes as a young actor with performance and affection, and confusing is love about performance, is love about attention, like what is it, and how do people love me for who I am? So I related in that way because I think that's how Oldolio's been raised. She's been seen as a peer and not as a child.
Mhm.
And it's not till she's older that she really starts to question that.
That's fast. That made me think of your work in Showbiz Kids, which I watched recently, and that was really good too.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah,
It's such
yeah,
an important movie.
it was great. I read that you were inspired by one of my favorite film characters, Edward Scissorhands, in kind of
Yes.
creating your character Oldolio. Can you talk a little bit more about that and how the two are kind of related?
That was the first reference I told Miranda when we first met, and I think that's when she knew that I got the character. Um, he's somebody that doesn't barely says anything throughout the film, much like Oldolio, but is communicating so much all the time and is breaking your heart every time he's on screen. Has been removed, has sort of been in an abusive situation almost, but that's all he knows. So he's scared to really do anything else. And the moment that really stuck out is when, Winona Ryder's character asks him to hold her and he says he can't. And that is Oldolio to me, because I think that's what she wants more than anything in the world, but she has no idea how to do it. And she is terrified.
Right.
And that really summed up the character for me.
Yeah. You get to work with Richard Jenkins and Deborah Winger, both exquisite, both have been working forever. What did they bring to their performances that amplified your work?
Oh, everything. I mean, getting to work with people like that can only elevate you. It was such an honor to get to work with Deborah, because it's such a rare treat nowadays, and to watch her work and to hear her stories and to see how fully she commits to something was really cool. And Richard is he's just brilliant, and he just has no ego, and they're both real actors. They just love the work, and they love getting into the characters and picking them apart. And this movie was just riddled with backstory and character development, and it was all really important, since we weren't going to get to know them all that much, but they had to have such a sense of history. And so we worked on that a lot. And also Richard Jenkins, just the funniest man alive. I mean, honestly, he just is.
I feel like you get that from this movie, but not from a lot of his other work, which is so great, because I bow down to 6 Feet Under. So that's like really great to hear.
Do both so well. They both can, really. And that's what this film called for. You needed to be able to find comedy in the tragedy, in the uncomfortable tragedy of life and of parents and children. And so I think Miranda did a wonderful job with casting, because they're both able to make you laugh and cry.
Well, great talking today. I really loved our conversation. Congrats on the movie, and great job in it again.
Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Miranda, it's great talking to you today. I enjoyed the film. It was really different and unique and original, and that's kind of hard to come by these days.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah. Were there con artists or occult-like figures that you had in mind when creating these characters?
Well, I grew up in Berkeley, California, so there definitely was no shortage of sort of self-righteous outsider types. And then I myself was like a young punk, and there was a lot of sort of low-grade scams and heists and things in that world. And then I watched a lot of Mission Impossible, the TV show as a kid. So I think all of that maybe was sort of a cocktail where it just felt very natural to me.
Now, the family performs smaller heists, kind of barely skimming by. Was there ever thought to have them kind of test the waters, or did you always kind of want them to be more hidden?
Yeah, I wanted their heists to be like ridiculous. Like you're at the point where you're exchanging a watch for a massage gift certificate that you're trying to trade, like, just endless diminishing returns, because it's not real. You know what I mean? Like it's not, I mean, Ocean's 11 isn't real either, but like it's kind of like the bubble wall or something. Like it's, yeah, there was something that had to be just a step beyond realistic for me to enjoy writing it, I guess.
Deborah Winger, Richard Jenkins, both exquisite, both have been working forever. What did they bring that you hadn't expected when writing these characters?
Deborah has this just tremendous depth, like this deep soul that can be really dark. And I mean, that character is kind of mysterious that she plays, but I knew she is kind of like cheating to cast her, because she kind of comes with, all these like deep roots. And then Richard, I mean, he's so funny to me, like funny. And we also kind of trust him like he's played so many like heartbreaking, heartwarming characters, that to have him play this tricky person, like a tricky father, I don't know, I liked that. Like I liked using what we knew of him in that way. And then also everyone had told me like he is a delight, and not all very established older men actors are. There's a lot of divas out there. So I knew that like he would help us make the family.
Yeah, Evan said the same thing about how funny he is, and just I didn't expect either that humor or this kind of a role from him. So it was really great to see him in this. Do you feel like you can spot the schemers and the con artists in real life?
In real life, I mean, I think I have a kind of paranoia where I often think like, like I misplaced something and I'm like, it's been stolen. Like my child has seen me assume that something's been stolen and kind of work out like how it was stolen, why I shouldn't have put it there. And then like, I'll find it. And I'm always like, right, there is always the option that I have just lost it. And I think that it's sort of like, it takes one to know one. Like I've been in that headspace enough. Yeah.
That's funny. That is hysterical. So thank you so much. I enjoyed the movie. Congrats. And I hope people get a chance to see it and kind of see something different.
Thank you so much. Take care.
I appreciate it.